Hey everyone, I haven't given an update on my aquarium project in a couple of months and a lot has changed. I started this tank roughly about in November, so it's pretty established by now. I found what works and what doesn't, and luckily I've been able to keep most of the specimens alive that I like. I've had a couple of failures. I had a beautiful clam early. He only made it about a week. Might have been too early in the tank to actually introduce such a delicate species. Also, one of my favorite corals, the bubble coral. I've gone through two of them now, so have realized they're not going to make it. So kick those out. I'll start at the left of the tank and kind of work down, give you an idea of what you're going to see here. I have three different types of shrimp in the tank. I have a cleaner shrimp, a fire red shrimp, and also two harlequin shrimp, who are probably my favorite guys in the tank. They just finished eating, so I'm not sure if we'll see them anywhere, because they eat about once every 3 weeks, and then they'll come to the front of the tank and wave their little pinchers to let me know that they're hungry again. Okay, so here we go. In the upper left of the tank, that brown thing is a bird's nest coral. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but it's covered with purple tentacles. It loves the spot, and it's probably doubled in size since I first put it in the tank. Just below that green specimen in the back, that's a dragon's eye zoo colony. It's one of the first things I put in the tank, and it's kind of pretty. I have two other zoo colonies throughout the tank. One thing I learned early is they have a neurotoxin that actually affects me by giving me pretty bad muscle cramps in my thighs. So I've learned to disinfect and wear rubber gloves when I'm working in the tank through experience. The bright green wavy kind of thing that you see there, that's a star polyp coral. It's grown about 10 times what it was like when I first bought it. Seems to really like it, and at night all those tentacles go in and there's nothing but a purple mat. So it looks like grass, but it's not. It's actually alive. Continuing down, the bright red grassy looking thing that you see here and also there, that is a kelp. I started out with just a little bit of it, and it's probably multiplied 10 or 15 times. Eventually I'll have to take some of it out and just donate it. The yellow thing that you see right there, that's actually a coral. Oh, there's one of the harlequin shrimp. See the guy to the right there just hanging out? They're pretty cool. Kind of rare too. And here's his brother or cousin or uncle or whatever in the background behind him. But anyway, back to the sponge. These are pretty rare and hard to keep alive, so I'm pretty happy that I've had him about 90 days. You'll see the translucent feeding tubes that are on the outside. That's how they filter water through their body and get their nutrients in their food. Various fish, you'll see I've got a copper-banded butterfly fish. He's kind of hiding because I'm close up the tank. There he is. It was the one I was told not to put in the tank because they're not reef safe, but he's done really well. The only thing about him is he only eats live food, so kind of a high maintenance upkeep. The orange and white one, that is a firefish. He generally spends most of his time hiding in that big rock, but he's out today playing, so kind of pretty. The blue one, you'll recognize that from the movie fame. That is probably the prettiest fish that I have in the tank. He's a little scattered though. He's all over the place. The orange clownfish, that's my Billy Badass of the tank. If I'm doing anything in the tank, he will be constantly attacking me. And the other day I opened the tank to do something and he literally flew out of the tank and on the ground. I had to scoop him back up and throw him back in. So he's kind of a protective guy. But back to this. That thing there that you see, it's kind of green and blue, and there's a couple more specimens down here. Those are called Recordia mushrooms. The thing I like about them, when the lights go out, they glow like an iridescent neon color, so they're very pretty after dark. The red and white with the white base that you're looking at now, that's actually a worm. I have two of them because I think they're so pretty. And the head of the worm is a filter, so it filters through the water all the white snow that it's called to get its food. And very pretty and fairly rare, kind of hard to find. The green Death Star looking thing, like the maze with the brown and the green between it, That is a maze coral, a brain maze coral, probably the rarest thing I have in the tank and by far the most expensive. When the lights go out, he'll have tentacles, translucent tentacles that'll come out roughly 2 to 3 inches. And got to be careful with him because he'll sting anything near him to carve out property. The purple looking thing with the little sticky outs, that is a tuxedo urchin. He's very interesting in that he likes to dress up, so I think it's really a she, and I just cleaned it off so you can see it. But eventually she'll go down and pick up rocks off the bottom or kelp or some of the grass and decorate herself to walk around the tank. So it's a pretty cool specimen. The green in the back just below the firefish right now, that's an Anacorpora coral. Fairly hard to keep alive, but I've had it for about 6 months. It's hard to tell on film, but it glows an iridescent green when all the tentacles are out. To the right center back there, and the firefish is trying to stay in frame, isn't it? That is a strawberry patch coral, and you'll notice down its lower right hand there's some damage. That was caused by the green large stony polyp coral to the right. They got connected and stung each other, so a little bit of damage. The red one you see that I'm centering on right now, that's kind of a rare one. That's called a war coral. It has about 13 different mouths on it right now. It's a hard coral and seems to be pretty healthy and doing well. There's another zoo colony in the very center there with the little polyps. Right now you're looking at a open brain coral. He's kind of struggled. I've had him about 3 months and still trying to find where he likes to be in the tank. Eats pieces of shrimp and other seafood if you put in the center of his mouth, but he's done worse, but he seems to be doing pretty good right now. This guy here, this is one of my favorite. This is a disc coral, and he'll inflate twice that size when he decides to, and he flattens out his side like he is here to move around the tank. If he doesn't like where he's sitting, he will move over here or move back there just to get a better grasp. At night he grows a bright orange and a blue, so he's really kind of pretty. This wavy thing is a xenia coral, and the clownfish has decided it's going to live in that, so it's a symbiotic relationship. And when I feed the clownfish, he will try to feed his coral. He'll take little bits and pieces of food and try to stuff inside of it, which I don't think it much cares for, but not much it can do. The large green thing that you see there, green and brown, that's a hammer coral. It's grown about twice the size and probably the healthiest plant I've got, or healthiest coral I've got in the tank. He really likes where he's at, but he's also one of the most dangerous. He's got very powerful sweeper tentacles and can pretty much kill anything in the tank if he decided to. There is a green and bluish star polyp there, or rather, I'm sorry, zoo colony there. And the cool thing about him is he is a predator. And if you feed, there's a little sea worm that I feed some of them that's a live food. You'll see him close up kind of like a Venus flytrap around them and eat them. The wavy brown, that's another, all across the top there. That's another, the Xenia family coral. It's grown 5 times since I moved it up there, so I'll have to trim it back eventually. The cool thing about this one is it constantly waves. Even if there's no water current, that waving motion that you see in the hands just goes on 24/7. A little bit less after dark as it kind of pulls back, but still pretty active. The bright green that you see, that's just a small version of another stony polyp coral that has little brown tentacles, you probably can't tell, that stick out all over it. Get a little wider view so you can see how it all comes together. I roughly have 43 different animals in the tank at this time. The tank is completely self-contained. All the filters and lights are in the back and underneath, so you don't see them or hear them, but it's a pretty sophisticated system to keep everything alive like it has. So I hope you liked a little view of my hobby. This something I do. It takes probably a half hour a day, a couple days, a little bit more investment throughout the month to keep it up to par, but it's great to just sit here, have a drink, relax, and enjoy how beautiful it is. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll give an update maybe later in the fall.